Greetings, grasshoppers. It is a very special show today. I am ridiculously excited to bring you these guests today. And what more can I say except that if you are not watching this from the Black Belt Bots page, go ahead, click on the video. You'll be taken to my page where this is broadcasting, and we'll all be able to see and answer your questions that way. That, or just click the link in the top of the post. You know what to do. Anyway, today we are having another bot adjacent topic because it ain't all about bots. If it was all about bots all the time, I'd have $1 million by now. I do not, by the way. It is sometimes about pulling out and looking at your entire business. I have invited the venerable, the world traveling. I'm just making that part up now.
No, we are world travelers.
You are world travelers? Okay.
We are.
The world traveling, the world renowned Barry and Catherine Cohen. Welcome, darlings. How are you today?
We are wonderful. Thank you for having us here, and thank you for getting the order of our names correct.
Darlings, if you could not tell, these two are married, and they work together all the time.
All the time.
And yeah.
Almost. Sorry.
And their specialty is business strategy. I met these folks at a conference a couple of weeks ago, and then a couple of weeks ago before that. And what struck me about them is that they're constant thinking about serving their clients. I mean, it was in everything. Like every time one of you guys got up and asked a question or anything, it was always client focus. And that's just one of the things that I love about these two. So bring your business strategy questions, bring your business strategy answers. We don't know. Put it all in the comments for us, and we're going to have a little discussion here. Hello, Lynn. Good to see you, darling. Yeah.
Michaela, no, it's not the right order. It's Barry and Catherine.
That is hilarious. Very good. So I've got some questions for you, and our audience hopefully will have some as well. Can you tell me what's the history of this company you got going on? What caused you to think this is something the world needs, and it needs it right now, and it needs it from us?
We threw a dart at a dartboard, and this was the best option that came up.
It was either this or street walking for me, and nobody wants
that. Nobody wants that. So Barry, you want to take this one, or you want me to do the quickie version of it?
We'll do the quickie version. So first of all, Catherine and I have been working together since 2003.
He is still alive. That was one of the questions. He is still alive. There are no bruises on his body.
Or visible scars.
Or any visible scarring, correct.
So one of the companies we had prior to Business Solutions for Growth, what we're doing now, was a software company. Mm-hmm. And it was specifically in a very niche market. It was in the barter and trade industry. And the service that we provided, the software that we provided, was software as a service, and it was based kind of on a profit share. So the better our clients did, the better we did.
Yeah.
So we found that it behooved us to help them and help them get their business up and running. Most of them were new to being in business altogether, so they had no idea what they were doing to start a business. So we coached them along. Mm-hmm. We helped them from start to finish. Our favorite story is we took one client from zero to $40,000 a month in sales, period. So that's our biggest story that we love to tell. And we know we can do this. We know we can do this really well. And when we had a parting of ways with our business partner in that company, we decided that this was what we needed to do. We need to take it out of this niche industry and just bring the basics of business and the foundational practices of business out to everybody, because even businesses that have been around for a while, they don't know how they got there a lot of times, and they get stuck. So we go back to the foundations and really get them going and moving forward. Kat, did I get that right?
Yeah, I would say that the easiest way to think about it, because everybody goes, oh, foundational, you're for new businesses. Absolutely not. We are for, well-established businesses, your stuck point, all that sort of thing. But think about this. Think about the last time you got a speeding ticket, and you did. And everybody knows they did. And think about the last time you got a speeding ticket. And here are your choices. You can go and you can pay the speeding ticket, or you can do that online class. Kind of costs the same, but one doesn't add points to your insurance, just as an aside. When you do that class, and I just turned 54. I'm very proud of the fact that I'm alive.
And you look great.
I look great. And so I think I got my license when I was 17. All right. So that's like a lot of years of driving, 40 something. And yet, if you do this, you always take that class. And what do they do? When you make a right-hand turn, what lane do you end up in? And when you make a left-hand turn, what lane do you end up in? It's the same crap that you had to answer when you got your permit all those years ago. If you can think back that far, same thing in business. When you're not doing something right, you go back to the foundation, and then we can skyrocket your business from there.
That's amazing stuff. I mean, because for me, for my business, I did not have any formal business training. My business training was, I know I'm a talented person.
You are?
I hate working for corporations. I don't do well, and I need to pay my rent. So what can I sell? That was really the starting of, my technology coaching business after I got out of school.
And you know what? A lot of us do that. Barry just told the story. It's like, okay, this is what we do well. How can we move this forward? But then, I'm echoing in somebody's. Anyway, so what you end up doing is saying, okay, I got this far and I'm paying my rent and I got a little extra and I'm putting money away and now I'm stuck. Mm-hmm. And what you didn't do is you didn't take notes on what you did to get to where you are. It's like, okay, I tried this and this sucked and I tried this and it worked. So let me do more of this. Most people don't take notes. So they got to go back. That's what we do. We go back and we figure out, what do you do on a consistent basis that will propel you forward in your business?
And one thing that you also said, RJ, was, this is what I'm good at. And one of the tools that we use is something called TEDS, TEDS. And that's your talent, experience, desires, and skills. And we work with clients based on that, because they might be doing something that is just not going to be efficient for them. They just hate doing it, but they're doing it because they feel they have to, or they were told that they have to.
Right.
So we look at everything. We look at the big picture, and we make sure the business fits into that mold for you.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. That's kind of what drew me to ask you on the show today, is because, I mean, my audience is in various stages of putting together a live streaming show or creating content or putting together a new business or a new side hustle. They're in all the stages. And what I think the biggest thing that came to me after talking to the two of you and going to your website, by the way, if you got a reminder today, their website is right on the bottom of the reminder. If you just click that link, and if you'd like reminders, never miss another bot signal, type the word live in the comments and Spinning Dragon will hook you up. Okay. PSA over. But the thing that really got me was that I need eyeballs inside of my business for the day-to-day tactics, and I need eyeballs on the outside of my business, objective overview, what's going well, what's going badly, because I am so close to everything. This is my baby. People ask me if I have babies. I say I have 2 furry babies and I have a little business. And it, I mean, I am emotionally attached to how I'm doing. So, I mean, so obviously the solution is get some folks, who can relate to that. Can you guys relate to that in your own business?
Absolutely. And to put it in the terms of the person who's over your left shoulder, Bob Ross, it's your business. Love it. Appreciate it. Okay. Oh, that's my Bob Ross impression because everyone loves him.
There we go. Bob Ross.
You know, I forgot the question already, Catherine.
No, RJ, I don't recommend working with your spouse. That was the question, right? Everybody, yes, we can relate. Everybody, you should be able to relate. Otherwise, you're operating in a vacuum, and you may not be doing as well in business as you think you're doing, or as well as you could be doing. We relate, so we have people looking at our stuff. You know, we have the genius Jane M. Powers, and you know, and so what? Yeah, and so you know, she works with us at the level that we're at to get us up to the next level and the next things that we want to do. And we, you know, and we chose to work with her because of what she does. Now we're eventually going to be working with you because we want to up level our communication with our clients. And so, you know, bot be the way to go. And, you know, and so we work with you. And now when people want to get that outside opinion, get some ideas that they're so, you know, you're like this, you're staring at your keyboard. This is what you're staring at your keyboard and nothing is coming in. You're in a position where nothing is coming in. You're not letting the free flow thoughts come on. Well, that's where we come in. Like, look up, let's communicate, and let's get the free flow thoughts going, and let's get a plan of action. Go.
And let me give you a quick example. RJ, there's a comment there from Lynn. Would you mind putting that up in the chat? And we're echoing pretty bad here.
Yeah, I couldn't hear the request. Could you tell me?
In the comments, there's a comment from Lynn. It says, I have 2 groups. There we go. I have 2 groups, 2 different subjects, and recently offered them a subscription membership at a very low price, and no one has signed up. I've given them so much free information. This is a perfect example of maybe not knowing who your ideal client is, knowing who your avatar is.
You did that.
What's that?
It was a great segue. I mean,
it
was about on wheels.
Hi, Vera. Love
Hi, Vera.
you. So your ideal client, that premium avatar, the one that's going to be your raving fan, that's not going to ever question pricing or anything like that. If you're not talking to them and you're just kind of throwing your message out there, you might have 2 groups, but you might not be giving them the right message. Kat, does that sound about right to you too?
Okay, so you know, the subscription membership, very low price. Sometimes people don't think that they're getting anything for a low price. All right, so that would be one. But the whole thing of this is, you know, when you're looking, you're exactly right, Lynn. You need some outside eyes. So you need to sit down. You know, whether it be us, you know, an accountability partner, you know, somebody else who's doing something similar. You need to sit down. And RJ, you know, you're absolutely right. Every one of us, no matter how much money we're making, no matter how successful we are, we've got to turn around and say to somebody, look, you know, does my ass look fat in this dress? It's really, that's the bottom line of it, you know, and you've got to have somebody that's going to turn around and say, you know, God bless Barry. He'll tell me that my ass looks like shit in that dress. And
then I run.
And then he runs. But, you know, Lynn, you need somebody who's going to say, you're delivering the wrong message to the wrong people. You're, you know, you've got unappreciative clients, and this is the right message, but you know, let's do it someplace else. You need to raise your prices because they don't think it's, oh, you know, $97 a month, $97 a year. I don't know. What am I really going to get? How well are they going to deliver this? Oh, $397. Well, then it must be something good because I've got to struggle to get it. So yeah, everybody needs that outside person. So absolutely.
Yeah. And Amanda, I would love to talk to your husband, but you got to remember who is the one receiving the message that the butt is fat in that dress? You got to think what your reaction is going to be.
Right. Right.
It ain't gonna be good. It just, there's no right answer to the question. And I know that, and I have a wife who sometimes asks me that question. Yeah. So very good. Very good. Well, I'm loving that, because unless, it's kind of like if you are doing it all by yourself, it's a closed system.
It is.
It's a system in which no new ideas come, and it's really just trying to make the same thing work, over and over. Tweak this, tweak that, okay. But if you don't have like a set of new ideas flowing in, then the stuff that you're doing gets stale. It gets stale to you, gets stale to your audience. And then you've got a real big problem going on. Not that I've made that mistake in business before. I've heard it from other people.
That's it. Yeah. No, yeah. I'm sure you have not.
No, you're perfect.
I love you guys.
On her wall. I mean, she's got to be perfect. She's got Bob Ross.
However, we are seeing her in her secret identity today.
Yes.
There's no cape.
Well, yeah. For you, I have this.
She had
cape, it's coming on. I had it prepped, dude. Just for those of you who don't know, I spoke in Phoenix wearing a cape, and now the cape gets requested a lot. So I'm gonna wear it for this show in honor of these lovely people. Oh, I think it's on. I think it's on the wrong side up. There we go. All right. So
beautiful blue color.
Yeah, is pop a color. So a lot of what I'm hearing is it's so near and dear to me, because, you've said, we've talked about Avatar a little bit, and I know we're going to hit on that a bit later too. First, my avatar was whoever the hell will buy something from me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, who's my audience? Who's listening right now? I produce something, and then who pays attention to that? That's who I then focus on. Right. That's an instinctual thing to do when you're super new, but what would be a better path?
Okay. In case you didn't know, we were both looking at each other to see who was going to talk.
Right.
Good.
That's how we do things. Yeah. So the better path would be, who do you want to serve? First, the better path would be, I've seen it in person.
The cape.
Thanks, Franco. The cape, yes. And it is a lovely cape. So who do you want to serve is the better question. And you start to build your avatar from that. And then you go, well, who did I serve that I enjoyed? Or who did I serve with qualities that I enjoyed? And you build that ideal client from there. Because once you've built that ideal client, once you've built the concept of this is who I want, you can actually go out and find that person.
Yeah.
You want to go out and find that person. So here's my challenge to everybody today. Find silver cars. Silver's not a real popular color in cars. And so now that I've put that idea in your head today, as you're out and about, you're going to see a lot of silver cars. And you're going to notice that it was a lot more silver cars than you saw yesterday. And it may be the exact same amount that you saw yesterday, and yet you see them today. So once you build your avatar and you know what you're looking for, and you know how to talk to them, and you know what they want to hear, you start talking that talk and walking that walk, and all of a sudden you see those people. You start to see the people, the businesses, the clients, the whatever that you want to be working with, or the qualities in people that you want to be working with.
And here's the fun thing. It's usually not you. You might think when you try to describe your avatar, you're usually thinking of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I would suggest, don't think of yourself.
No.
Think of the person, like Catherine said, that you want to work with. that doesn't balk when you put your prices out there, that when you tell them
Right.
how much something's going to cost. That's who you want to describe and define.
And that is not necessary. I mean, I know that there are approximately, and I've done a scientific study, about 1 billion avatar creators out there.
Yep.
It's 1,037,000,000.
Yes. That's more accurate.
I knew that Barry would correct me if I was wrong. I
You
knew
were
that.
using an old study.
So how do you sort through all that? What do you want in an avatar creator?
2 pretty faces.
Yeah. These two.
So let me clarify the question. Are you saying like an avatar creator, like a program that helps you create an avatar, or
right? Like, so years ago, and this is when I was starting my business up again. So 2012, I was Googling around because everybody was saying the word avatar and not just the movie at that time. People were talking about this in marketing, and I'm like, okay, well, what are they talking about? I need to know. And I opened up my best friend Google and I said, what is this thing? And just so many things like, everything from the barest simple answer these 4 questions and we have an avatar for you.
right?
And it's really basic and simple to the really deeply complicated. And it was hard to find something that fit my level, what I was doing, that could answer the questions that I had about avatars. And yeah, I mean, largely I basically created myself. And it was just, it didn't do me any good at all. It was worthless to me. And I just, at that point it was like, okay, what else can I focus on that might actually bring me some money? Right. So how do you know the good from the bad? How do you sort these things out?
Well, first of all, if it's working for you, it's good.
Right. So if it's working for you, it's good. So we start out with a free little sheet, and Barry, if you can type in where they can get it, and it's a bunch of questions. It's just
Wait a second. Amanda, we don't like wise asses.
Yeah,
I didn't see Amanda's little chat. Let me just.
She builds cars, and she builds a lot of silver cars.
She builds a lot of silver cars.
Amanda is my team member, and she is as smart-assy as you two are. So the 4 of us are going to have to get together. That is what I think. Yeah.
Okay. So okay. You want to just as many questions as you can possibly get, because as narrow as you want to possibly get is who your avatar is going to be. So that, the 4 questions can help you get along. The avatar is your languaging. The avatar is not your target market. The avatar is not your niche. So there's so many, but the avatar is that target market. So if you are my ideal avatar, RJ, and you are my target market, and you are, if I think of my ideal client and I come up with a description of somebody just like you, right? Then I'm going to, when I do my messaging, I am going to have some jokes in it. I'm going to have some sci-fi references in it. I'm going to, kind of go off track a little bit in my emails, but come right back. I'm going to be a little bit more hyper in my languaging. I'm going to be a little bit more hyper in my body stance, in whatever it is that I do. If my avatar, if the person that I want to work most with, is more quiet, if I work better with quieter people, and it can do a lot with you or who you work better with. If you work better with, different types of people, that's who your avatar is. So it's really weird because you've got your product or your service, and then the niche, the thing that makes you special, and then your target market, and then your avatar, and then you create the avatar, and then you kind of tweak the target market and you tweak the niche a little bit, So you start out here and you come in here and then you go back out. So it's great to have this person that you're talking to, and it doesn't always, it doesn't answer all of your questions, but it helps a lot in saying, is my language going to appeal to RJ? Are these bright colors going to appeal to RJ, or is it more muted colors if I'm doing an ad? It helps answer a lot of questions. That's the purpose of the
beauty of it. Once you have that premium avatar, and again, it's the one that's going to be throwing money at you.
Yeah.
It's the one that's going to, just keep sending you referrals. You're not, although you're talking to just that one person, other people are hearing you. So you're not so niched down that nobody else is hearing you. Other people are hearing you. They're hearing bits and pieces that make their ears perk up and say, oh, yeah, let me go talk to them.
Yeah.
And let's see, what can you put Franco's question up there? There we go. Do you act accordingly based on who you're talking to in your marketing? Well, let's start with this. You don't act. Always be yourself.
Right.
But it's how you're speaking to them, what your messaging is. And your messaging should be talking specifically to your avatar. Don't put on an act. If you put on an act, people are going to see through it.
Act accordingly, though, Baron. I'm thinking I'm not going to be mellow with RJ, and I'm not going to be super hyper with somebody who is, mellower. So in that way, yes, you do act accordingly. Don't fake it, is what Barry's saying. You may have different avatars for different services or different ways that you serve your clients or different clients that you want to serve, but you don't need 27 billion avatars. You're talking about one or sometimes couples, or two particular people, and that's it. So you're not creating an avatar for everybody that you're talking to. You're creating avatars of the people that you want to work with. Act was my keyword. Thanks for the information. Yeah, you're creating avatars for the people that you want to work with, or the one type of person that you want to work with, and then everybody else is just attracted to that, like Barry just said.
Yeah, and that's it's an interesting approach. I haven't gotten this advanced in my business. You know what I mean? I've kind of I've had nose to the grindstone for a while, increased the team size because one wasn't cutting it. And this is just sort of some of my first exposure really to, thinking about these different concepts all together like this. So what kind of, when you're looking at people and businesses to work with, what, do you help people who have zero knowledge of the situation? Do you aim your sights a little differently? Do you have, obviously you probably have, your avatars in mind as well.
So it's interesting you said that. What was Catherine going to talk, or was she pointing?
No, I was pointing to you, Dave. I don't know
you.
which direction you're in on Facebook. And on the screen that I'm looking at, you're there.
This is where you are for me. So
and physically, you're there through that wall. But go ahead. I digress.
Okay, what was I saying? Oh, you said, do we work with people that are from zero, just getting started? And interestingly enough, our avatar is not. It's somebody that's been in business for a while, that just hit a wall. However, what we teach and what we coach on, what we strategize on, can work for the startups. It works great with our avatar. I mean, they have some level of success. They got there, but they don't know how they got there, and they hit a brick wall in their business. So what we do is go back and, like we said earlier, talk about the foundational practices and things like that. But what we do goes right back to startups, because startups hearing what we're talking. Wait, foundational? Wait, I'm hearing that. I hear it. So it talks to them as well. Does that make sense? Yeah.
It makes sense because even though your, a well worked on avatar is different from your, startup just coming up in the world, since you're working on foundational business practices, it applies to both. So you work with both. So that's kind of what I was getting at, is that you creating this avatar does not pigeonhole you into only working with dark-haired people with red glasses.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. Kat, you're the best. Anyway, very good. So because that's one of the thing that I think that I have feared in the past is I'm going to put a lot of time into this thing. I might put some money into this thing too. And then how do I know it's right? How do I know it's real? How do I know I'm not just pointing toward a group of people that may exist but not be interested, or may not even exist at all? How would you address those fears if someone came to you with that?
That one's you, Kat.
The person that you create. Let me go back to the first thing that you were talking about. No, you're not pigeonholing yourself. So even though the avatar, the person that that becomes your BFF, if you will, in developing your languaging and all that stuff, that is not the only type of person that you can work with. But it solves the question of, should I go crazy trying to go after this person? Here, let me give you a good example, and then I really will get to answering your question. When we first started out, when we went from the industry that we were in, which was the barter and trade industry, and the ways of that industry, which are not really sweet. Okay, they're not really. It's a very cutthroat industry. It's a very dog-eat-dog cutthroat industry. And so when we started out and we didn't do the avatar, and this is something that we learned along the way. Like, we knew we could help businesses, and we knew that we could create a plan of action and everything, but we didn't do the avatar thing. So we were looking at, again, startup businesses, and we were doing crazy things to get everybody. Oh my God. Let me discount. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do all these crazy things that just took us off track. So when you're creating your avatar, when you're doing this, once you've done this, does this work? Well, maybe is the honest answer. Does anything work? Maybe. You've got to test it out, and you've got to try it, and then you've got to tweak it a little bit. But in the whole creation process, you're going through known data. You're not just pulling shit out of your butt. You're not. So don't do that. You're not creating the ideal husband. You're not creating the ideal wife. You're not creating the ideal child where you're pulling stuff out of your butt. You're basing it on real world information. You're basing it on, I work really well with people who are energetic like we are, and not so good with quieter people. I mean, this is real world stuff. My personality especially, and RJ, you may or may not have run into this, but I know I have. People, because I'm hyper, because I'm loud, because I'm very forward, because I'm, like very in your face, there are people who just like look at me cross-eyed and go, back off, biatch. This, I can't deal with you. That is not my person. So, basing real world information on, the quieter type who wants somebody to hold their hand and tell them that they're pretty and you're doing such a, no. And in the past, and we've all done this, in the past, I would go after these people, and I would change my personality, and I would change what I'm doing. And then at some point, me would show up, and they would be like, oh, who the hell are you? You deceived me.
Yeah.
That's how the avatar works. You're basing it on real world information. So it's, who do you want to work with? Who is your premium avatar? Who is the person that's going to pay high ticket, if that's where you're at? But for the person who's doing all discount stuff, for the Walmart people out there, we're not your coaches. because we know that from the avatar. We're looking at the person, we're looking at the person who has good product, has good services, and can't get that high-end client. We know because we were there, where you've got that high-end thing. You're there right now. I mean, based on our conversation, you've got this service that is par excellence, that you are flipping genius about, and yet there are going to be people, if you're, especially in the beginning, you're struggling and you're saying, okay, this is what I do, who can pay for it? And the first people that always ask the questions a lot of times are the people who can't afford it. So going back to Lynn, going back to you, when you're giving out something for free
or dirt cheap, okay, and that's, it may be your avatar, but is that your premium avatar? And do you want a premium type person? So everybody and anybody is willing to, eat up that information. And some people do it just for research. Is this the information that I need? And some people do it because it's free. And some people do it because you're the right person and you're giving them the right message. And those are the people that you've got to cultivate. And you don't know who they are until you develop this list of who are they. You cannot recognize somebody that you don't know who you're looking for.
I think Vera just called you old, Catherine. I'm not sure.
Wait, where's Vera's comment? Dang it.
And then she corrected it though. She came back up again here. Yeah.
Old point. Good point. Not old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Barry.
And one thing that we are going to do, because I know we're running short on time here.
We got a whole 22 minutes.
We got 22 minutes. Then I'm going to shut up. Catherine, continue talking.
Give us 22 minutes. We'll give you the world.
The New Yorkers know that one.
New Yorkers know that one,
Vera
right?
knows that one.
Vera knows that one. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world. Thank you, Vera. That was a news station. That was a radio station in New York, or still is. So yes, who just said, you put it up there, work with people that you connect with. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the fault that we all have, and the thing that we all do at some point in our careers, at every point in our careers, at a little point, at a lot of point, is that we work with anyone and everyone with skin. We just go after these people like crazy. And they're not the people that we connect with, and they're not the people who connect with us. And we change our message, and we change our pricing, and we change the way we do things, and we change and we change and we change. Look, I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, I'm in your face. I will get stuff done with you. I will push you. I will, and Barry's the same, but I'm like more in your face.
And I married you anyway.
And you married me anyway. And all of these negative things. And then the positive things are, you will advance in your business, and you will go forward, and you will, and you will have this plan. And so you can get that from me if you're willing to work with somebody who's a little obnoxious. And if you're not, I shouldn't be pushing for you. And I've done that, and we've done that. And then those people go, oh my God, they're so loud, they're ridiculous, they're insane. I can't do this. It's too much work. It's too much this. It's too much that. There is somebody out there for you. There's the ideal person for everyone. You have your soulmate. They're your soulmate clients too.
Exactly.
Well, and I really resonate with that one. Hold on. Let's see if we can minimize this echo. Darling audience, if you could let me know if you hear the echo too, because it just went away. Very nice.
Keep going.
It's going?
No,
No,
you
it
got
keeps coming and going.
Keeps coming and going. Yeah. Ghost in the Machine. We, the many splendors of Be Live. So that really resonates with me a lot because we talk a lot on this show about using bots to attract the right kind of clients, the people
Right.
that, because it's not just, oh, these people could buy what I have to sell. Yeah, it's not that world anymore.
No.
It's not that world where you stand on a street corner, scream at everybody who passes by and hope somebody trickles back to you. It's not that anymore. We're all tired of that. We're all way overwhelmed with all the useless information that we're offered every single day. We want valuable information. And so, how this ties in with bots is that people really self-select a lot in a bot. They self-select whether they like your personality or not, because it's not just, yes, this person has a need for what I provide. It's also, can we work together? Can we communicate through tough situations? Because technology is not always predictable. I know it's a shocker, Barry, but I'm going to leave you to digest that information. Technology doesn't always work the way you think it will. And sometimes people are scared of or averse to technology completely. They're all people that when I invite them, when I'm really, use my personality, those people self-select out, and it's okay. I can refer them to somebody else.
Yeah.
So I'm loving this part of the discussion because it really resonates with let's look for who really will fit with us. Let's not just aim at everyone.
No,
absolutely. And Vera makes a great point here. If you want to stick her comment up, they stay with you forever.
That's true.
So when you have your right client, your ideal client, they do stick with you. They're your raving fans. So Vera, great point, and that is the point of this whole thing, because it's easier to keep a client and progress them through your programs than to get a new client. It's so much easier. And thank you, Jane.
Oh my God!
Jane, hello. Yeah. When Barry's fanning himself, it's a moment, baby. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us today, Jane. We love you. That's awesome. So we've been talking a lot about the avatar. Why are you, I know as a company, you guys are really focused on helping people find this out for themselves. Why is it such a cornerstone from you? Where do you go from there?
You go everywhere from there. That's the whole point. You if you don't know who that premium avatar is, you don't know how to do your messaging. You don't know how to do your marketing. You don't know who to talk to. You don't know how to talk to them when you are talking to them. So it all blossoms from there. That's why we really hammer it in and focus on that. And we don't start working with any clients until we work with them to get their avatar first. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I did not know that part. That is very interesting. And do you, can someone come to you with a pre-developed one? What's the procedure there? Do you then check that out and make sure that is all still true, or?
Absolutely. Because they might think it's the right one, but we've already seen it with several clients that it is not the right one. We've got to tweak it.
We've seen it with us.
Yeah.
That we've got to tweak, and you tweak all the time. It could be as simple as, it could be as simple as you go through this little sheet and we just, talk about, okay, you need to do an avatar, and a lot of people will look at the sheet back, put it up there. I want everybody to download this thing.
CreateMyAvatar.com.
CreateMyAvatar.com.
I don't know how to put it up there. So createmyavatar.com.
But, it could be as simple as you download the sheet and then you're going to do what everybody else does. And you're going to say, my avatar is female between the ages of 35 and 45, and they make between, $75 to $85,000 a year. Those are generalizations. That's your marketing. And it may be something as simple as, we go back over it and spend 5 or 10 minutes just saying, look, this is what you need to do. To something as complicated as, as we work with your avatar for a couple of weeks. That's neither here nor there. Once you have that person, whether you do it yourself simply, just with any program online, thanks Amanda for putting that up there, whether you do a course, however you do it. Once you take that, once you have that person, or once you have that framework, where you go from there is now, what are the courses that you're going to create? If you're doing course creation, RJ, where are the places that you are going to put articles on bots? Where are the places that you're going to speak? Where are the places that you invested good money to come to Phoenix, go back home, come to Phoenix again, stand in front of an audience, have a booth, talk to people, have these lovely things.
Yeah, baby. Oh yeah, you got some coasters. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you invested in a cape.
You invested in a cape. Okay, so where do you do those things? That's your avatar. So where are you investing your money? What does your logo look like? How do you speak to people? What's your plan of action? Where do you go to network? What are you saying to people when you talk to them? How are you saying it to people when you talk to them? Are you standing like this or are you expressive? Once you have that, everything. Is this a good client for me? This person is willing to pay me, but is it, they're willing to pay me $10,000. Do I have to do $50,000 worth of work in order to deliver this $10,000 project, product, service, whatever it is? That's the other thing. That's the reason why, you have to fill out applications sometimes. That's the reason why people, want to have a phone call with you. That it's all based on whether or not we're going to get together. You're working your avatar, whether you've got an avatar or not. Yeah. If you're successful, you're working your avatar.
You're working your avatar off. I'm coining it.
That's so beautiful, Barry.
Oh, sorry.
Well, so we also before online, we were kind of talking about a masterclass that you guys are offering. Do you want to go into that one a little bit?
Sure. The class is called Foundational Business Practices Business Owners Aren't Using. That's costing them thousands of dollars. Go figure. That's the name of the class. And we're going to go through a lot of this, in more detail through a course formula. Conversational is great, but when you're actually sitting there in a class and doing it, sometimes it makes a lot more sense, and you could sit there with a pen and paper. Yeah, it's an online class, obviously. Sorry about that. We're doing it on October 22nd at 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, or, Pacific Daylight Time. Mm-hmm. We're in Arizona, and we don't change clocks here for daylight saving. It kind of screws up the rest of the country trying to figure out what time it is.
So right now, until you guys change your clocks back, we're the same time as California. So if you know what time it is in California, you know what time it is in Arizona. And the class will be on a day where if you know what time it is in California, you know what time it is in Arizona.
And I'm looking down at my keyboard because I'm trying to get the link into the comments. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that.
Okay, we'll leave you to figure that out, and Catherine and I will talk for a moment. Very good. So, I'm enjoying this foundational stuff because as as I was saying earlier, I don't really business school, not the place for me. They don't like capes. They really
don't like. Well, you should have gone to the business school I went to. I went to business school for fashion. We would have loved your cape.
Well, I went to drama school, so
They must love your cape there.
they really did. Actually, I didn't have a cape at the time, but yeah, I didn't. A lot of this foundational stuff that other people talk about, because business school is all about learn to get your finances. Like finance, listen, I see an Excel spreadsheet and I run the other way. Screaming, flailing. I don't do that type of stuff. This foundational business practices stuff is, what kind of material is it? What kind of class will it be? Will it be, something for just bare startups like me, or is it other types of people who have been advanced in business a little bit?
Okay, so that's definitely for everybody. And here's the other little sheet that we give you for you to do a lot of self-discovery. It's a lot of take a deep breath, go inside, find out who you really are.
That's RJ's move. You can't do RJ's move.
Whatever. So you threw me off. The other thing is TED. So Barry said it before, talent, experience, desires, and skills. You may have a talent for something, or you may have a skill for something, but like you said, who doesn't love a good cape? Exactly, Denise. That's exactly what I say. You may have a talent for the numbers, and you probably do, and you have a skill for it, but you don't like to do it. So you want to offload that stuff. Those are foundational things. Those are foundational business practices. Knowing who your avatar is, that's foundational. And you could be going on and on for years and years and years, or you could just be starting out. And this is like, oh, well, I just saved myself 4 years of pure hell. I just saved myself 40 minutes of pure hell by knowing, look, don't figure out how to do a bot on your own. RJ, the three of us were talking the other day, and you were saying, yeah, people can take my class and do the bots. And when we got more into it, like Barry could do that because it's all technical stuff. And then again, and maybe he should, so he understands when we give that stuff to you, what's going on with it. But if he did that, if he took the class and he started doing the bots on his own, I would have to kill him because he would go down the bot rabbit hole. And then where's the time for the rest of the stuff that we've got to do? Yeah. So those are foundational practices. And if you've been doing this for, 20 years and you're still doing the stuff that you're not supposed to do, or you're still doing the stuff that, you put at the top of the pile at the beginning of the day and then the bottom of the pile at the end of the day, and you start the next day, what's wrong? You're doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. Mm-hmm. All foundational. And that's what you're going to get in this. It's a quick master class. It's some ideas for you to think about and some things for you to say, am I wasting time and energy on this? Should I be implementing this or shouldn't I be? Because everything that you hear out there, you don't have to implement. Like bots is an amazing idea once you know who your audience is. Once you're established, once you've got a list.
And once you know what your audience is asking of you.
Yeah. Perfect. Little details. Here's a great example. Somebody that we know said, hey, that event that we were at, where you and RJ were and everything, that free breakfast that I don't know anyone who likes Excel spreadsheets. There are some.
That was sarcasm.
That was sarcasm, yeah. So
the breakfast.
So the free breakfast that Infusionsoft gave us, and hey, we love Infusionsoft, and we're using Infusionsoft, and Barry was actually able to teach the Infusionsoft guy a few things. I digress. But she's like, okay, Infusionsoft sounds good. They're doing this offer where they're giving me, and Infusionsoft is going to call me now and kill me, but they're doing this offer where they're giving me like 3 months cheaper, and then it goes back to the regular rate, which isn't what it used to be. And I think that it was whatever it was, $29. And I think I need Infusionsoft. And so I signed up for Infusionsoft. I said, are you effing kidding me? You have 5 people on your email list. You've got 5 people on your email list. You're not cultivating that. You're not going out there and trying to get more people on your email list. And you had to have a 30-minute conversation. Go ahead, Bar.
And we had to teach you how to get an image off of your email and onto your computer. So if you're not technically able to handle something like that, something as complex as Infusionsoft is not where you want to be. And this is how we speak to our clients, by the way. We don't sugarcoat anything.
Right. So
Really?
So if you just started in business, okay, and you've got, you know who you're serving, and you've got your programs down, and you've got your talk down and all this wonderful stuff, and you just got on Facebook because you heard it was good for your business, and your only friends is everybody from high school and your mother, don't call RJ to do bots. Don't call her yet. There are so many things that you need to do beforehand, and these are foundational practices. RJ's amazing. She gives you these great coasters. She wears a cape. She knows what the F she's doing as far as bots go. I must sign up with RJ. No, not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
I can't look somebody in the eye and have a one-to-one conversation with them. I really need to be getting up on stage and selling from stage. I need to go talk to Jane. Jane Empowers. I need to go talk to Jane.com, and I need her to, help me create a talk. You're gonna piss yourself when you get on the stage. Not yet. These are foundational things. Step 1, step 2, step 3.
I love that, Amanda.
I'll take from us where you might be there, and one of the reasons is that you are my mother. Exactly. That's perfect. I love it.
Well, what a great discussion. We're going to have you back so that we can, discuss this again, because those foundational things, you may have all of that in place. You may have all of your ducks in a row. They may quack properly. But here's my thing. They're not even my ducks. I don't know where the ducks are. They're supposed to be ducks here. So you may be in any stage of business, but checking out those fundamental principles, foundational is actually the right word.
Yeah.
Checking out the foundational principles isn't a bad idea, no matter where you are. Because there just may be something that you pick up there. I'm going to be there. October 22nd?
Yeah.
I might need to catch a replay. I'm going to be in Chicago.
Cancel your trip. It'll be worth it.
Okay. Very good.
We want to do these kind of on a regular basis, and we're doing them live, and we will have a recording, but we do want to do them on a regular basis because it's fun. Because Barry and I have to get over our shyness, so we've got to we've got to be on camera more. But we enjoy the living hell out of it, and so we're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, you do. That's pretty magnificent. So, folks, there's a link in the comments if you're interested in doing that. And again, it's October 22nd, 10 a.m. P. The D and the T, and that's when this thing is. The links in the comments if you want to do this thing. It's free, right? I think absolutely. I heard that. It's absolutely it's free,
absolutely free.
And to me, it's absolutely worth looking at other parts of my business, because I get hugely hyper focused into what I'm doing, especially if what I'm doing is working. I'm going to be there all the time, baby. But then there are other parts of the business that just gather dust and aren't working right. And I don't notice because I got my nose over here in the tactics. I don't flip out 30,000 feet and go and look at the strategy. So Anyway, all of that to say, these are fine people. They are business strategists. They know what the hell they're doing, and they're super duper fun. So join us if you want to. Totally up to you. And thank you all for being here today. Hey, if you never want to miss another bot signal, and I totally understand, you just type live in the comments. You'll get reminders every single time I go on the air, which is twice a week on the Black Belt Bots page and various other places on the internet. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you for taking an hour out of your busy day, coming to hang out with me and my crew, and offering up some real good stuff that people can take and use in their businesses right now, whether they ever attend a live workshop or not. There's something that you can get out of this. So you guys are the best.
Thank you.
How are you?
We really enjoyed being here.
Yeah, you're the bomb diggity. You are the bomb diggity.
With a cake.
All right. Very good, darlings. Well, I will be back. I will be back solo on Thursday. We're going to talk about care and feeding of your bot, because that's an important topic, kids. It will be just as entertaining. I may or may not wear the cape. It depends on audience request. And that is all for us right now. I will except one thing.
Except for one thing. And I'm looking at my calendar. So I have here's the other half of this. And that is, Catherine, look, quickly. We are interviewing you.
That's right.
We're interviewing you on Thursday, the 25th of October.
Ooh.
And that will be at 9:30 a.m. And that's going to be on our website, but we'll send out stuff to you and everybody else. That's going to be on Pacific time. Yeah, Pacific time, still Pacifico. So yes, we get to return the favor, and we get to find out more about bots, and so does everybody else. And we get to have more fun, which is the ultimate. That is the penultimate.
It is. If you're having fun, you're doing it right, people. And with that, my friends, I will see you in a bot.
See you in a bot.